The team has done an amazing job of proving stuff that everyone thought it was impossible.
Welcome to Founders in 15. I have with me today, delighted to have Maryam Rofougaran here with me, the CEO and founder of Movandi. We met in 2016.
That's right. That's right.
And I remember you came with your co-founder, Riza, and your brother, and we were talking about the idea of what the telecommunication would look like in the future and how you and Riza were thinking about it. Now, before we get into the Movandi, maybe just step back for a minute. Tell us about your history.
So, I was born and raised in Iran. And from early on, I was always interested in working on challenging problems all the way from high school and even before that. And my dream was to basically be able to continue, get to higher educations and go do something big. I was a woman, a girl in Iran, and luckily with very open-minded parents who actually, thought that you could do anything you want to, and there should be no difference between whether you're a girl or a boy, and very supportive. So after I graduated from high school, they supported me to come to the U.S. And continue my education. And that's, Riza had come 4 years earlier, so it made it more comfortable. Okay, you have a brother there, you can go there. And then I came to the USA. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the details of what it was like to get here and stay in Germany for 9 months and all that. But eventually I got here, and as soon as I got here, I started going to college, UCLA. And interestingly enough, even though everyone wanted me to go to medical school, just like everyone, all these parents in Iran. Just because of my interest in math and physics, I started taking right away the classes and basically chose to go to engineering field.
Engineering, yes.
And then, while I was doing that in undergrad, I was doing research. I started doing research in the lab, and there was a project that was very interesting. And, Riza was there, he was doing his PhD, I was doing my undergrad and master's. And this project was actually really, really kind of revolutionary in the way that it could completely change the whole connectivity, because the challenge with connectivity was that you can bring the devices into handset and mobile because of power consumption, because of the cost. That's right?
This is in the late 90s.
This is in the late 90s, right? Where there was no connectivity, no Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi in the devices, right? So we started the company, and about a year and a half later, we had a prototype of full Bluetooth SoC. It was prototype. It was really not the full product yet. I mean, we did have a SoC. We showed how it works and how low power it is, how low cost it is, and also showed a path that this could become Wi-Fi as well. We brought wireless into the company. They had no wireless business. So we started.
And today, Broadcom.
And today, they're shipping. By the time
anybody has any wireless connectivity has come from the majority of it.
The majority, right.
From
so about a few years later, we were shipping Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. We actually put this together again. We did another, very, very difficult thing, which was putting this together and have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS, everything on one chip. And that's when we really became the leader in the entire market, right? So when we started, there was zero revenue of wireless at Broadcom. In a few years, we were doing almost $3 billion revenue purely from wireless. And, again, they brought some other acquisition, et cetera, but the origin of it was us, and all the radios, no matter what, whether cellular, Bluetooth, anything that was done at Broadcom came to. So, it's interesting. Then I started getting a lot more experience in also managing stuff. We had to do acquisitions, brought companies all over the world.
And you had distributed R&D. I remember you had distributed engineering team all over the world.
All over the world.
So tell us about, what you saw the frontier looks like when you decided to leave Broadcom and start Movandi. What was that problem space or that kind of set of challenges you saw that you wanted to solve?
So if you look at what we did in the past, when we came out and did our first startup, it was because of a need, right? We could look around us and see, this whole connectivity, having a standard where when you get everything connected together, it's not there. And that's where, we started our first company to address that challenge. Now you have that connectivity. You have all your mobile devices, you have all laptops, everything. Pretty much, you can't live without it, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, because
we are connected.
Sometimes I hate it because my kids are on it all the time. But so when we were at Broadcom, and before we started Movandi, we could see, because this is after we have been in this industry for such a long time. We've talked to many customers. We've seen a lot of where the industry.
So you're one of the largest patent holders in the communication space.
Right.
You and Riza have been incredible innovators in our industry.
For all these things to happen, it really has to go to where it can be done. And that's really going to higher frequencies where you get a huge bandwidth and you're able to manage all this data. And we call it sort of future of fiber, right? Wireless fiber. And that has to be, right?
Wireless fiber.
It is.
Where it's not a physical.
Exactly.
It's not a physical fiber. It's the performance of the fiber in the waves, essentially.
Exactly. And realistically speaking, if you really want to be able to do all these things that everyone talks about, you have to have some ways of wireless. So not that fiber will completely go away, but fiber can go to every single apartment or so. So that's what we see. That's our vision. We believe that we can make that happen. The challenge is, when you're pushing the technology and you're going to new territory that nobody has gone before and done a whole lot of work, there are a lot of challenges. And there are challenges with physics, as you mentioned. So now we're talking about, how do we go there and how we can impact the industry and address some of the challenges that are there to be able to make this happen, right?
Give us, example. What does it mean to have millimeter wavelength capability for a consumer like me? How does it impact my experience with connectivity?
Very simplest, and this is something I've had challenge with often because, sometimes you're running and to catch your plane, right? And then you remember, I wish I had downloaded this movie so I can watch it in the plane, right? It's happened to me before, whether it's that or a document or something.
It takes forever to download everything.
Right, exactly, especially at the airport, right? So if you want to use what exists today, LTE, Wi-Fi, it usually, big movies, big files, it could easily become a few minutes, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, depending, some of them go like almost close to half an hour or something, or may not even happen. If you have millimeter wave, and that's actually something that right now is being put, they're starting to put this at some gates, etc. If you have that and you're running and you're trying to catch your plane, you basically started in a matter of few seconds. You can get that because you get a few seconds. Again, depending, literally in few seconds. Something that could have been 10 minutes or something. It could be that much of a difference.
I don't have the patience. I usually give up in the middle of it.
I'll give up too. But no, it really makes a huge difference.
In my backpack, I have 4 connected devices all the time. And in my home, there are more even. Yeah. So if a person is equal, maybe 7 to 10 devices that needs to be connected to the network all the time.
I know.
Whether you're listening to your music.
You multiplex, right?
Multiplex, yes, you use this. You go from your screens of watching a movie to Spotify to listen to your music, to your laptop computer where you do your business activity, your phone, to your family. It goes on. You just constantly, you're moving from one device to another device and it's connected.
And I think, one thing that happened during this COVID, and people having to work from home, and
That's right.
you know, you have the mom and dad doing their work from home, and the kids doing, you know, school from home, and everyone trying to use Zoom, and it just was a disaster. I mean, I know a lot of people had a lot of problems. So I think it even emphasized more how badly we need to be able to support more capacity, higher bandwidth, and the importance of, you know, this whole, what we're trying to improve.
How have you changed, how have you evolved in the past, you know, 5 or 6 years since you've taken on this new challenge, Movandi challenge?
When you try to do something really transformative, something that's really changing, having a huge impact, you can't expect things to be done and, you know, everything picks. It requires the whole ecosystem. We did that before with our connectivity, but that was, the thing about connectivity was that even though it was completely new, and by the way, you know, a few times everyone thought it's going to go away and Bluetooth will go away, and but it came.
People are skeptical. People were on
Exactly.
Bluetooth when they first came out.
Right. I mean, at one point the company wanted to shut it down pretty much, right? And then like 6 months or a year later, it became the biggest revenue generator of the entire company. So I mean,
You've seen this before.
I've seen this before. It's, you know, when you deal with something completely new and it's different from incremental. You know, sometimes you have a mark. You already have something, and then you start a company to improve stuff, right? It's just increment. But when you're trying to come up with things that are completely transformative and having a huge impact, getting new stuff out, I mean, I had seen it before. So here again, I mean, you keep hearing, okay, is this millimeter wave going to happen, not happen? Because, you know, as a whole, 5G has been having sort of a rocky road because it's a new standard, you know, a lot of proof of concept by operators. So this requires a whole ecosystem. It requires, in the first place, operators to start it, put some of these nodes out there, and you know, this whole COVID, everything has had impact.
Yes.
But during this time, I mean, as far as when it comes to us, I think we actually have done an amazing job. I mean, not me. The team has done an amazing job of proving stuff that everyone thought it was impossible. And I can tell you that because we've been working with some of these customers before.
If you share with us, you know, what are the word of wisdom, advice you have for entrepreneurs, the things you encourage people to do more, and the things that you would suggest for the entrepreneurs to avoid? Give us both sides of the equation. So,
first of all, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you definitely have to realize that, you know, it requires a whole lot of dedication. I mean, it really requires commitment. Because again, there are going to be many times that, as you said, you're going to be tested. There's going to be a lot of times that it's going to be, you know, not good. And if you don't have the patience and if you don't have the resilience, and then it's not something built. And some of these things can be built along the way, but then you really have to be passionate and you really want to be wanting to do this. Otherwise, it's going to be a very tough road. And not everyone, you know, I don't necessarily agree that some people say, you know, everyone should go and start something, and it really has to. It should. So you have to be ready for it. That's the first thing I would say. The second is it is very, very important who your close partners in the business are. Extremely important, and then the team that you bring, and because again, if you have to work together, and everyone has to have that sort of passion for building something.
With that, Maryam, thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to your continued success. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the support and great conversation. Thanks.